Alright, guys. So, I know there was supposed to be more videos and some streams this weekend, but there are currently two reasons why that's not going to happen. The biggest reason, well, not the biggest reason, but the first reason is, well, I work retail, and a coworker of mine had a family member pass away. Now, I'm pretty sure some of you guys have worked retail in the past, and you know nobody ever wants to fill in slots. I happen to be one of those few people who do, because I'm a team player. So, I'm not going to have any free time, man, in a couple hours. As soon as this video is going up, I'm probably going to be at work. The other reason, there's nothing to do. There is the long barrel accessory case, and then some skill points. And that's it. I'll have already completed all of the major tasks inside the beta. Now, let me tell you why that's stupid. The technical test from a couple months back, this area was available, which this is El Pozolero. And this area was available. I can't remember this guy's name, but he does parties and shit. It's not quite La Palaga, but yeah. It's this person here. He does parties, social media stuff, gives you a modified light machine gun. Anyway, the fact that there was so much in the technical test and so little in the beta just doesn't sit well with me. And then there's the driving controls. It In the original technical test, land vehicles drove well. They actually drove pretty well. Not quite Grand Theft Auto Online good, but which that's bad that you can say that. But they were okay. In the beta, they don't drive well at all. Now, the technical test, planes and helicopters were pretty much impossible to fly with a mouse and a keyboard. In the beta, the helicopters are flyable now. The planes, however, refuse to actually, land. So, it's... I don't know what Ubisoft is going at. I really don't. But it's not good, whatever it is. The cover system in this game doesn't work. A lot of people say it's a contextual cover system. Well, the context isn't working. I mean, you saw from an earlier video, I had a guy get suspicious of me behind two structures. That's bad. That's not good game design. That's not a good cover system. Someone referred to this as Far Cry 4.5, and that's inaccurate. That's an insult to Far Cry 4. This... Hold on.
So how brutal is Yuri and Polito's torture?
turn down the audio capture for the game right now. I wish they'd shut up. Anyway, see, I had a lot of hope for this game because I'm a real big fan of Ghost Recon Future Soldier. That game had a good cover system. You could move from cover to cover. You could do out in the open gunfight. See, in a couple of the videos we had from like the original announced trailer, you saw people taking actual cover. In this game, you don't. You kind of sidle up against the surface and hope for the best. It's not contextual. You don't stick to the cover if you go to lean around, and half the time you can't lean around. 9 times out of the 10, the cover's more of a issue, a hindrance for you than it is the hindrance for the enemy. And for a Ghost Recon game, let alone a stealth tactical game, that's a bad, bad thing. Hey, look at that. There's no reason that this vehicle should be doing that. It's got enough traction. This is not a beta. This is a pre-alpha. The freaking technical test was more of a beta than this. They've literally gone backwards. I had so much hope for this game, and it's just so much of a letdown. Look at that. Complete 360. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a 180. And now it won't even turn? Like, who designed this? Who thought this was good physics? When I first played Ghost Recon Future Soldier, I was not expecting much, and I got probably one of the most fun games I have ever played, ever. And I've played a lot of games. So, when they announced Wildlands, I had so many high... I didn't even turn there. I had so many high hopes for this game. And this beta, especially after a fun and incredibly entertaining technical test, has been a letdown. There are... I just don't know how to describe it. I wanted a game that would have... Why did it tell me the suppressor wasn't on if the suppressor's on? I wanted a game that filled that hole that Ghost Recon Future Soldier had left because Ghost Recon Future Soldier had become dated and boring after beating it 300 times. Instead, I've gotten this. The Division, with its horribly implemented RPG mechanics and the fact that you have to fire entire magazines into enemies, feels more like a Ghost Recon game than this game because there's no stealth in the Division. You can literally be behind a wall and be noticed by enemies in the Division. But it feels more tactical than this game. When the stealth works, it's fine. But the problem is it hardly ever works. And more often than not, you literally are better off just rolling into the enemy base with a truck you stole with a minigun mounted on top of it and just laying waste to everybody. Because they are going to notice you, and once they notice you, they suddenly become bullet sponges, so you're going to need that minigun to take them out fast anyway. This light machine gun here, it's an LMG, and if the enemy notices you, sometimes it takes 5 to 10 rounds to take a guy down. I had to kill a Unidad guy with 6 headshots using this pistol, and he hadn't even noticed me. You know, and this is on the veteran difficulty. If you're playing on the highest difficulty, you can get killed in one hit, and your enemies are probably taking half your magazine. That's just stupid game design. I want this game to succeed, but right now, if it releases on its current release date, it is not going to be ready. Not if this beta is any indication. They need to go back and work on the driving controls. They need to go back and work on the flying controls. They need to work on the fact that half the friggin' time, the game doesn't want to recognize I have a controller plugged in after I get past the menu. They need to work on the fact that, you know, the cover system doesn't work. It's contextual cover, which is fine if you make it actually work. If I'm behind a building and enemies should not be suspicious of me being there. If I'm behind cover and enemies should not notice me. If I aim from behind cover, I should every single time pop up over that cover, not suddenly be doing this and staring at a wall. If I shoot a guy in the head, he should die. If I shoot a guy with a helmet in the head twice, he should die. They should not have to unload half or whole of a magazine into somebody to kill them. It's stupid in the Division, and it's even stupider here because of how, you know, this is supposed to be more realistic. There's no mobile cover, there's no seeker bombs, there's no magical health regenerating stations. The most fantastical thing we have in this game is the drone. That's it. Yeah, over there's... See, right there, I think, is where that guy's party is when you finally take him out. I just really, really wanted Wildlands to be a great game. And right now, I don't think that's going to be what's happening. Right now, I can't really recommend this game to anyone. I mean, if you're a super Tom Clancy fan, wait for a sale. Don't pre-order this game. Because right now it's not complete. It's not worth it. It needs... As easy as it was to get through this section, took me about 2 hours. So you're looking at maybe 40 hours of gameplay if you're slow and you do all the side quests. Maybe 50. But then there's no endgame. There's no mission editor. There is no guerrilla mode. There's no multiplayer. I'm sorry, not multiplayer. Player versus player mode. Um, this game could really stand to have a guerrilla mode. This game could actually stand to have a good tower defense mode where you have to have a central location and then you have to go out and do missions to get resources to defend your central location. And that would be a good persistent player versus environment game. There's no mission editor because this game could do well with a mission editor. You know, be able to have people design their own outposts, their own patrol routes, their own base defenses, and upload them to the Uplay system, and people could then download them and take on those challenges. There's no real good reason to replay anything. If this game's gonna succeed, they need to work on it. They're gonna need to actually listen to the people who want to play this game, the people who want to have it succeed. Because as it is, it feels incomplete. And I know exactly what's going to happen. All that extra content and all of those fixes are going to be tied to DLC. And that needs to stop. Anyway, that's all for me. My griping and complaining. Sorry that we're not going to get to live stream this, but there's nothing to do. And even if I could, it'd be unbearable to play. Alistair out.